I knew something was wrong the moment I stepped out onto my lawn and heard nothing. No sprinklers, no water pressure, no familiar tick-tick-tick of the rotor heads, just silence and a patch of dirt where my irrigation system used to be. Yep, the HOA had stolen my sprinklers. It started 2 weeks earlier when the HOA sent out a notice saying all lawns needed to adhere to new eco-friendly water conservation standards. I didn't have a problem with that. I already installed a water-saving drip system years ago. I barely used half the water of my neighbors. But one morning I woke up to a bright red violation letter taped to my door saying my system was non-compliant and needed to be replaced with the HOA's approved irrigation layout, which, ironically, used more water than mine. I emailed them and explained that my system was eco-friendly. They didn't care. They wanted uniformity, their favorite word. I refused. So the HOA took matters and my sprinklers into their own hands. I came home from work one day to find 3 workers digging trenches across my lawn. When I asked what they were doing, the foreman said, HOA issued a work order. Says, we're removing non-approved equipment. Non-approved equipment? It was my sprinkler system that I paid for. On my property, they've ripped out every head, every pipe, every line. Then they billed me $1,200 for the removal service. That's when I stopped being patient. I pulled out my property survey, and the one thing the HOA had forgotten, the water line feeding the community irrigation loop, ran under my side yard. Years ago, the developer asked for permission to run their line across my property, and I agreed, as long as I kept control of the shutoff valve. And guess what? They never moved it, never protected it, never even checked. So the next morning at 6 a.m., I walked outside with a wrench, crouched beside the small green access box on my property line, and turned the valve to OFF. Within minutes, sprinklers stopped spraying all over the neighborhood. By noon, the HOA inbox was full of complaints. By evening, the president was knocking at my door. She tried to threaten me at first. You can't turn off community water. I calmly pointed to my survey documents. This line is on my property. You removed my irrigation system. The valve stays off until you fix what you destroyed. She said they had the authority to remove anything they deemed non-compliant. I smiled. Then I have the authority to keep the water you reusing to irrigate your uniform lawns. 2 days later, with dead grass spreading across the HOA's clubhouse and common areas, they caved. They paid to reinstall my original water-saving irrigation system. They refunded every fine, and they paid me an annual easement fee to keep using the water line that runs through my yard. Now I sit on my porch in the evenings, listening to my sprinklers quietly tick away while they spray like fountains at a Vegas resort, all thanks to a pipe they always need, and I'll always control. Sometimes the greenest lawn is the one watered with karma.